Hello, 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 good evening. I have been at an event today doing some taster sessions for Reiki, and it's a long time since I've done those, and I think I sort of forget that people don't know that much about Reiki and they don't understand it, they don't know what it is. So what I wanted to do was to come on and hi Sarah, hi Natasha. I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about firstly like what Reiki is, how I work, because I work slightly differently to what I used to, and just some of the more common questions. So if you've got any questions whilst you're watching this about Reiki, energy healing, or if there's any questions that you've had and you want them answered, just stick them in the comments and I will reply. So hello. So one of the most frequently asked questions I get asked, which is a little bit, I suppose it seems a little bit odd to me, but it's, do I have to be naked for Reiki? No, you do not. You wear your clothes, yeah? So it's a clothed experience. That is honestly, that's the top question that I get asked about Reiki. The second one is then, what is it? So the way that I describe it is for, hiya Brian, I say to people that if they imagine themselves as a physical being, yeah, and then imagine themselves as an energy being. So what Reiki can do is, if you imagine that energy should be flowing freely up and down through your body and all around you, but because of stuff that happens, in your past, your childhood, relationships, etc., sometimes that energy can then get a bit stuck and there's no way for it to work itself out. So these can then sort of manifest as emotional issues, potentially physical issues in the long run, if they're left to just dwell. So the way that I say Reiki can help is it just helps that energy to move along. So it helps to shift anything that hasn't been dealt with, and it can just help to it helps the body to relax. And when the body relaxes for a period of time, such as half an hour, 45 minutes in the day, then when the body's relaxed, the cells start to heal themselves again. So that's basically how I describe Reiki to people. And then the other thing that I was going to, so the way that I learned Reiki was very much like, you have to put your hands in these same positions, etc. Now, I first learned Reiki 10 years ago, and I was looking for guinea pigs afterwards. And what I used to do these different hand positions, and to be honest with you, I felt like a fraud because I couldn't feel anything. I'm putting my hands here and I'm not getting it. But the feedback from the clients was always, oh yes, I could feel the heat from your hands. So I just had to sort of like obviously keep practicing. And I think for someone who wants to learn Reiki, it's about learning to trust in something that you can't necessarily see at first. But over time, obviously, the more that you work with something that you can't see, then the more you start to trust it, and you learn what it feels like in different areas. And the other thing, so a lot of people who I've been seeing recently have got issues with their throat chakra. So their throat chakra feels blocked. Now, our throat chakra is all to do with communication and about speaking our truth, and being able to be open and honest. So a lot of people struggle with this for a couple of reasons. So the first one is because sometimes things that have happened in the past, and not just in this lifetime, but maybe in a previous lifetime, stop them being who they want to be in today's life because of stuff that's gone on before. And then the other reason is that when you start being honest, like I cannot tell a lie now. Yeah, I really struggle. If I try and tell a lie, I just can't. But when you get to the point where you're being open and honest with people, you have people around you, and it can then affect your relationships, because some people who you might be really close to might not like hearing the truth. And some people, they build up this barricade around them. So when you start to open up your throat chakra and start to say exactly what you think and being open and honest with others, it can affect relationships around you as well. So that was one area that came up quite a few times today. So And was there anything else? I'm trying to think. Was there anything else? If anyone's got any questions about Reiki, just stick them in the comments. Oh yeah, so the other thing, people often ask me, like, how many sessions do you need? So my advice, or what I always tell my clients, is have one and see how you feel. If you feel you want to come back for another one, then you can do. But if you feel like you just need one, that's fine. Because the way that I see it sometimes as well for people is that Reiki might just be like a stepping stone. So they might come to me, have a session, and then they might think, either A, I want to go and learn this now so I can do it myself, which is great. Or then they might think, right, I've tried Reiki, now I'm going to go and try this. Do you know what I mean? So it might be that having a Reiki session is just part of like a path, either onto learning something for themselves or to discovering more about themselves for them. So I never tie people in and saying, oh, you must have 3 sessions or you must have 5, because everyone's different and everyone's level of healing and whatever else is different for different people. So they're the main questions I think that I've been asked today. I'm just trying to think on how do you learn it. So it's a really simple tool to learn. So you come along, you get to spend the day with me, woohoo! And we'll do some chakra clearing work, we'll do some meditations, and then I teach you how to give Reiki. We'll do a couple of what's called attunements, and then I was talking to a chap today who was saying that one teacher was charging then for ongoing support, but personally I feel that if people come to me for training, that I would like to think that I'm then there for them afterwards. So whether they decide they want to go on and become a Reiki practitioner and run their own Reiki business, then I will try and help them with that. If they decide that they just want to learn Reiki for themselves, then, you know, and use it on their friends and family and they have questions, then that's fine as well. So you don't have to be with me to learn Reiki now. So as of this year, I have started offering distance attunements. So what that involves is just basically, as long as we're online at the same time, then I can send you basically the manuals, we can do some meditations, you know, I can still do it, but you don't have to be with me in York, which is fabulous, because I honestly think that the more people who can learn a tool to help themselves, the better. So if you know anyone who's interested in learning Reiki, or who would like a Reiki session, so I can do distance healing sessions now. I don't know if any of you saw that on my Facebook a while ago. It was really interesting. So I did one with a lady as a guinea pig, and she said I can share my story, so I'll share with you. So I learned distance healing back in 2011, right? And even though I'd learned Reiki, I'd spent 3 years learning it, I didn't get it, right? I didn't understand how I could do the Reiki and send it to someone. So Marcel, hello. So Marcel's in America. I didn't get how I could do Reiki from here and send it to someone in another country 7 years ago, right? And then January this year, a friend of mine introduced me to Gaia, the TV channel. And as I started watching it and learning more about energy and about vibration, about distance and time, it's like something just clicked, and I was like, oh my God, I can do it via distance. My head's going mad now. I can do it via distance and across time. So I asked a few people to be my guinea pigs, and this was one lady's story that I'll share with you. So I asked her we arranged a time, and I said to her, I'm just going to sit and do a chakra check and see where you're at in terms of your chakras. And then if I feel there's anywhere a bit wobbly, then I'll send it some healing. So as I was doing a chakra check, the first thing I picked up on, which is really bizarre, right, was that her solar plexus chakra, which is where like your main energy house is and all to do with digestion, it felt really unsettled. And when I asked why the reason that my solar plexus chakra was unsettled, I just got the word apples. So I was like, okay. So I kept that. And then as I kept making my way up, I felt that her throat chakra and her heart chakra were a bit unsettled. And when I asked again, it felt as if she'd been watching something which had reminded her of an event which she hadn't necessarily dealt with. So I sent her a WhatsApp message afterwards, and I was like, these are the places that I felt that your chakras were out of alignment, so I've sent some healing to those specific areas. Can you tell me whether apples mean anything? And then the stuff about her heart and throat. And she came back and she said she'd made an apple juice earlier that day out of 8 apples with their skins on. She'd just basically thrown them all in the juicer, juiced them, and drank it. And she said she'd then gone to a yoga class, and she said she'd never felt so bloated. And she said her stomach had just swelled up because she'd juiced all of these apples together, and she just wasn't feeling very comfortable. And then the thing to do with her heart and throat chakra was around the fact she'd been watching a movie, and in that movie was a guy who reminded her of her grandfather who passed a few years previously. And she said when she just saw him, she got really emotional and upset because she hadn't fully gotten over the fact that she'd lost her granddad. So distance wise, we can do it. You can come to York, we can do it here. But yeah, so if you do have any more questions on Reiki or energy healing or anything else, then feel free to drop me a PM or stick to me in the comments. The other thing I was just going to say was that, having learned Reiki 10 years ago and learned like the proper way to do it, then over time my intuition's kicked in and I trust myself more, and I do it now how I want to do it. So it's very much like Reiki with channeling the energy, but I also tell people that I might throw a few stones on them, but I'll try not to knock them out, because I do use the crystals in my healing. And then since going off and building my own shamanic drum last year, then I will also do some drumming at the end of it. So when you come and see me for a session, because some people say, oh, well, I can go and see another Reiki therapist for less money. And I'm like, that's fine. But, I do it differently now. So this is the way that I do it. And if people feel drawn to me, then that's fine. If they don't, then, they go to someone else. That's absolutely fine. You're always drawn to the person, I think, that is going to, you're just drawn to the person that suits you, do you know what I mean, at that time. So with myself, you get the Reiki, you get the crystals, and then you get a bit of drumming as well at the end. So with the crystals, they just help to balance the chakras, and I put them on, if there's a specific chakra that's blocked, say your throat, then I might put extra crystals on your throat, or I might, I use different tools basically, just dependent on the person and what they need. So I think that's it for now. But yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to comment below this video. If you're watching it on a replay, just hit replay, and yeah, just let me know if you have any other questions that I haven't covered, and I will hopefully see you all on Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock for my Pay As You Feel readings. Okay, have a fabulous rest of the Sunday, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.